I'm Emily Storvold, and I'm going to be leading a little workshop on watercolor landscapes. Yeah, so here we go. So here are some examples of abstract watercolor landscapes I've done previously. And usually I don't start out with a plan, so I just kind of jump in, so feel free to do so as well. So you're going to want to start out with some paper, some watercolor paper, and you can tape the corners around the edge, just like I've done here. And yeah, we can get ready to go. First thing I usually do is apply a light wash. So you have your watercolors here. I have a few new ones, so that's really exciting. Let's do a green wash, but you can do whatever color you would like. And so a wash, you're gonna use a lot of water and less paint. So once you're happy with the amount of paint that's on your paper, I like to dab a little bit in certain sections with your cloth or rag. And this really gives it a bit of a different texture. All right, and then you just let that first layer dry. So I'm going to use a magenta or pink, but you can use whatever color you'd like. And since we were talking about abstract landscapes, I'm going to make I guess, some kind of land here. And for this layer, I'm filling in a bit more color, just so it really stands out a bit more than the background. All right, and again, I'm going to dab some of the spots. All right. And I'll let that dry. All right, so now that this is dry, I'm going to add a few blobs, and feel free to add your own blobs as you like. So I'm going to use this orange. I'm going to do kind of a wavy blob there. And this one I'm going to make a little bit darker, just so it really stands out. So I'm adding lots of paint. All right, and once again, I'm going to dab just a little bit to create kind of a cool texture. All right, so that'll dry. I'm also going to add another shape in indigo blue, so a nice dark blue. Just just over here. So this can be something in the sky, whatever kind of shape you want. Maybe do fill that in. Alright, and again I'm just gonna dab a little bit. Alright, and I'm gonna let those dry. Alright, so while these are drying, I'm going to take one of my markers, one of these guys, and it's water soluble, just so you know. And so you can make any kind of marks you like. I'm just gonna make little dashes here. Right. I'm gonna take a different color and do some more dashes, be in a slightly different angle. Alright, I'm going to take a smaller brush I was using before. So before I was using about that size brush, I'm going to use a smaller one. I'm going to put some water over top of the marks I've just made. And kind of lighten the color. But you don't have to do it on all of the marks. I find it kind of interesting if you just do it on a few. Right, now for the darker ones here. There. Right, and again I'm gonna dab a little bit just to create that texture again. Alright, I'm gonna let those dry, see how that's doing. Alright, so that's looking pretty dry. So I'm going to take this green, and you can use any color you'd like, but I'm gonna draw a circle around my shape. And see, it's okay if you get a little off. Nothing has to be perfect here. I'm going to use a small brush again. And go over the marker. Just like that. And dab once again. Alright, and let everything dry. Alright, so now that everything is dry, I'm going to add kind of a shimmery paint over top of kind of an area of the painting. Alright, and again I'm gonna dab a little bit of the paint, just like that, and let that dry. Alright, I think I'm gonna add something over here. Let's see. So we already have some pink in the painting, so I'm going to add like that. And again, this is super abstract, so feel free to really add whatever you'd like, because it's all about kind of making a world on your own. So again, I'm painting over top of the marker. I think I might actually kind of keep pulling this out. Right, and so you can see it's really bleeding in with the rest. So I'm just going to come in and dab it a bit again. All right, so by now your painting should start to look filled in, and you can either kind of leave it where it is or continue to add. But I recommend letting it dry before you keep adding. So that's what we're going to do. Let everything dry. All right, so now that everything's pretty dry, I'm just going to add some finishing touches, I guess. So really you can just add some fun shapes wherever you feel like at this point. So again, I'm using my marker here. I think I might color this one in. All right, so I'm going to add a few more things just to finish off the painting. I'm going to add some purple up here, just like small little dots. Right. I'm just going to add a little bit of water like that. Do a little dab. Right, there's that. And I'd like to kind of fill in the space here with something. Well, since we have the blue down here, maybe we can pick some more blue paint. So I'm just going to do a nice sweep paint there. Right, dab it again. I think I might use my blue marker again in here. Do some circles. So maybe this is like a mountain, an abstract mountain. Can get some water on there. So I think that's it for now. So you should have kind of an abstract landscape, and it can really look like whatever you'd like, and that's what mine looks like. Although it's not dry yet, so I'll have to let it dry. So this is my finished abstract painting. As you can see, I have kind of an abstract mountain in here, maybe a sun or a cloud. Yeah, really it can be whatever you'd like it to be, or whatever you can imagine. Yeah, and feel free to continue to add if you'd like. Yeah, thank you for following along.